Grow what you eat. I'm Naima Latif with today's 10-minute tip on how to grow your own food. And we are growing our own food right here in our raised beds. We added some good, nurturing, dark soil, and we are going to transplant these plants out of the pots into the soil underneath. And it's always good to make sure you water the plants after you transplant them in case the soil is a little bit dry. You do want your plants to get a good start in some nice, fresh, moist soil. In the process of transplanting, you're going to need your hand garden tool to dig up your dirt. And today we've got a little farmer's helper out here. Never too soon to teach your children how to grow food so that they can appreciate what they eat because they can see it coming out of the ground. So let's start the process of transplanting as we dig up the soil, make a hole, and then take the vegetables out of the package and put them in the ground. All right. Here we go. Now you're gonna put it in the hole, right down there. Oops, stick it down in there. Good job. Thank you. All right. Good job planting onions. All right. Good job. All right. So here we are. Got our first tomato plant. And let's make sure we cover it up and make sure it's nice and secure in its spot. And you want to make sure it's got enough space in between, enough inches around so it can grow and spread, because that's what it's going to do. So now we're all set. We've got our plants secured, and we'll be adding some more rich soil. But we've got those that are in our raised beds, those along the fence, and we found out some interesting things about plants such as garlic that we have here and onions that we have there. We like to look at these plants as kind of like your security team, because they chase away those pests from some of your vegetables and keep them from being invaded. And that's a good thing because you want to have as much natural repellents as possible. So we've got some garlic in this raised bed here, which is growing next to our kale. And we've also got carrots here. And then over here we have some garlic growing next to our tomatoes, and also we've got celery here. And these very young plants are going to need some care. Our onions and our mustard greens. We have to make sure in these first few days and weeks that we're diligent in keeping the soil moist. And it's important to know when the best time it is to water plants. You don't want to put water on plants in the heat of the day, because the evaporation process could actually cause them to scorch. Now we've got some carrot plants here that they were a little sick when we got them out of the package, so we're gonna really have to nurture them and be diligent about keeping other plants away that are undesirable in their space. And so food growing is a daily process. You can't neglect them, just like your children. You can't leave them for days and days and not make sure they're well fed or have something to drink, water and that kind of thing. You can't leave your children when they're young and ignore them. The same way with your plants. Your food plants need daily attention. And if they have a problem, you want to tend to it right away. You know if they're looking perky and healthy, and you know if they're looking drab and sickly, just like your children. So you've got to be diligent when it comes to making sure after you put them in the ground that you're taking care of them. We're going to be planting more. We are going to be adding lettuce and potatoes, and they're also strategically placed. We make sure that each plant gets enough space to grow and spread. And also we make sure we've got a security team, plants that are the natural pest repellents, so that everybody is comfortable in their space and they can grow to be healthy and they have room to spread. This is a day-to-day process in monitoring what's happening and checking the weather. You have to make sure that you get enough water, and if it's not going to rain for a while, in those early stages your plants are going to need you to water them, but you don't want to overwater, and you want to water in the evening time so that the water can soak into the ground and then have the benefit of the sunshine in the daytime to evaporate the water. But by that time, the roots have had some good water to absorb and help the plants grow. Things are happening under the ground and above ground, and you have to be conscious of both places where your plants are receiving nourishment. It's definitely a science, and you have to respect all of nature that is interacting in this process. And everybody's hungry, so you have squirrels and possums and all other kinds of things, and you need ways of repelling them as well. And we'll talk about that, because once again, we want those that we don't want among our plants to be repelled, not killed. Everybody has a right to life, but we also want to make sure that the food we're growing is growing healthy for those we intend to eat it. I'm Naima Latif. Grow what you eat. We'll see you next time.